So obviously you got study, but really the choke point is the top of the main stairs right here. She's usually gonna be a player right here, kind of chilling right here. One way you can do that is have someone peek from this window, while also having someone push up these stairs, preferably someone who's got flashes. You can try to kind of, you don't necessarily have to kill this guy, it's nice if you can, but at least flush him out towards the objective. That way, because you want this right here. Because with this, you cut off rotates in and out of sight. It's just really handy to have. Also, you can kind of, it's a lot easier to hold steady when there's nobody right here. Secondly, it's nice to have one person, doesn't matter who, on this window. Because this way, you cut off rotates around 90. So hopefully what this does, you got a guy down there, you got a guy here, or at least on the window, your roamers really have their legs cut out from under them. Because like, say they're in a bedroom, they really can just go back to sight, and that's it. Because if they come here, hopefully you got this guy that's right here. Even if he manages to get picked off, you still got presence down there. A little bit harder, but at the same time, still easier to put pressure right there. So those are kind of the two main things. Now, other nice things that you can decide, if you have a buck or an ash or something of the sort, you kind of work vertical right here. So if you get right here, this is into vault. So we're talking about cutting off rotates. If you can have someone kind of watching this, then when they're in vault trying to shoot back towards study or back into games, a lot of times they're not paying attention down here, so you can really at least make them nervous down here, which makes pushing into both games and Aviator easier. Hope that makes sense. Another fun little fact, if you have Buck and they manage to get a mirror window on those study walls, you can pop the mirror window from right here. Super handy. Alright, so I think those are the two main places. Would be somebody on 90, and then making sure we get main stairs. Now, the beautiful thing would be if we get somebody on those two places, but also the person on red stairs. And I feel like on this site, operator choice isn't as necessary, like certain operator choices. Hard breach is always nice, like an ace, probably where you can start getting study wall. Because anytime you can open these up, it's good because you can hold long angles, but at the same time the defenders can hold long angles. So it's not always the easiest thing and the best thing to do to open up the big walls. You kind of have to figure out their playstyle. If they've got all ACOGs and they're able to hold these long angles, then maybe opening up that wall is not quite what we want to do. Like I said, reactive. But big choke points here. Main stairs, 90, and then push in. Kind of your default plant spot is behind the bar right here. So if you get someone here, and when you plant, you actually squat down a little bit lower than you do when you're crouched, so you're pretty much protected. So ideally, you have a guy here planting, somebody else covering, you know, vault, or you know, whatever rotates they might have. This is the hole we made earlier. So obviously, you can go around that hallway and get over here too. Which is nice. In order to get here, you have to go back into that little art room next to the library. But that's it. Alright, a trophy deer take. A little bit tougher, but not too bad. So usually you're going to have one person set up in here somewhere. You're going to have your rotate right here. Usually. Probably a shield here. So what we usually like to do is come in through the bedroom. Try to gain control here and then push out. Only problem is if you can't get this wall open. So you need a Thatcher or you need a Maverick and some kind of hard breach. You don't necessarily have to. One thing that I think is not used enough on this site is this window. So if you are rappelling on this window, even if it's just to make them nervous, you know, being able to cut off this rotate into the bathroom, and you kind of have to work in tandem with the people coming through the bedroom, because eventually you want to get off this window, because this is pretty vulnerable. They can hear you repelling, they know exactly where you are. There's only one window over here. So talented players, especially as we hopefully rank up, they're going to know somebody's here. They're going to know you're probably upside down. So you have to be careful. But one thing you can do is if you manage to get this window open pretty early, as they're coming through bathroom, if they make a lot of noise, you can a lot of times peek. You can't really see the person behind the desk, but you can see that rotate that's usually there. So a lot of times this is just a kind of a synchronized chaos to get control of Astro. Also, one actually sneaky way to kind of get up in here is to come through the basement. So coming from like that little garage, come up the basement, and then as people are making noise up in the bathroom, you're kind of creeping up here. You still got your guy up on the window. So maybe he's kind of drawing a lot of attention. They don't really realize you're right here. If there's somebody in bathroom, you can kind of take some pot shots there. If you've got flashes, which are really handy, pop one back there, rush over. A few extra holes to breathe through, you're golden. So once you get to Astro, so you got some people in bedroom, may have one on the window, may have one coming up from the stairs. The other thing would be to get 90 control. Really anywhere on the top floor, this 90 control is crucial. But one thing you don't want to do, which we have done in times past, is get 90 control, push towards the objective, and completely leave this exposed. So, for me, necessary operators on this site are somebody with flashes, so someone like Buck or Nomad. Nomad is a really strong operator on this map in general. So like for here, pop your Nomad up there, or somewhere like that, so that you know if somebody's coming. Obviously if you're holding from right here, do it a little farther back, because you don't want them to be right here, be able to shoot you and then hit the Nomad. Not ideal. But Nomad also has flashes, so say you kind of get done holding here, you got someone else that's going to sit here, Nomad can become that person that flanks under Astro. And I hope I'm not sounding too scatterbrained here. Maybe you know there's a guy behind that desk, and you've got someone in bathroom and they can't really push him out, they're having a hard time. You can pop this hatch with whoever, chunk your flash over the desk. You're completely safe right here. And then synchronize that with your bathroom people. Hopefully you can get in and push him out a little bit. So cool. That is just kind of a quick and dirty to the top of our take. Means the defense's chances of hamstringing me. Which sounds super dramatic, but you know what I mean. So one thing to do first off is make sure you take out all cams. Which that, oh there it is. Because on this map especially, those cameras are really strong. Any Valk cams that go out are really strong because there are so many ways to run out. So even just this side, you can run out bakery door, you can run out small bakery window, you can run out whatever that is, mining, all those windows on that floor. So you have to be careful. One thing we never really use to its fullest potential is this window. So you bust that open, and this is called pixel. This, like, if you're holding from that side, that's called pixel. Especially as we get into higher ranks, a lot of times you're going to find a shield right there. So obviously this peak is a stupid peak if there's a shield there. But if there's not, and there's people just trying to rotate freely through white into Christmas, you're in a strong place right here. Now, I wouldn't suggest sitting on this window for the whole match. As soon as they find out you're here, it's a really dangerous place to be. But thinking about like beginning of the match, just trying to get in, you know, we usually are trying to drop red, we're trying to drop like maybe new Valk, it's a little more dangerous that way, but I think one thing we could benefit from is like a crossfire in Christmas. So that'd be somebody on this window and somebody on the piano window on the other side. So you clear Christmas and then you can start getting in there. Alternate way to do this would be if you pop red hatch, you're able to get this wall open, just come straight in here. And being able to rotate from Christmas directly into New Valk without exposing yourself in Cigar is a big deal. So, quick recap on that. Somebody on this window, somebody on that window. And you don't want to just like blind peek this, because if you blind peek especially this window, some dude sitting in Cigar, people love to do that. Maybe a swing on New Valk. And some people just, and I can never figure out who they're going to be, will just like lay right here and then they just blow you up. So one of the most important things for the top floor take is the drone work, because there's so many little nooks and crannies to hide up here that you've got to completely drone this out. So probably ideally you've got one on that window, one on this window, and then somebody who's on the roof that's droning through here. It says, okay, there's nobody here. You know, if you cleared this side, then the guy in this window can swing in. And that's the safest way for someone to swing into this room specifically. These are always so exposed, and even if they say, hey, everything's fine, drones don't show anything, all I have to do is step right here to take some pot shots right there. So if you got someone playing in Shiko or something like that, they can take you out pretty quick. If you have someone sitting right here behind a shield, which is what you're going to see in the higher ranks, it gets a lot more difficult. So ideally you're going to have an Ashe or a Zofia or something like that take out the shield. But if you can't do that, one of the ways to do it would be to try to get him from this window, but most likely you're going to get him from that window right there. So you kind of make a lot of noise here, you're trying to take some pot shots, kind of getting him a little nervous, and then hopefully when he goes to reload, he'll kind of back up, and then you shoot him right in the butt. That's ideal. Opening up over here under these, I don't know what they're called, but you know what I mean. Opening up around these, making sure that those don't feel safe to the defense. It's important. So, having done all that, where's the best place to plant? So, if you're trying to plant, a lot of times, pro teams will try to get a guy in this window in all the chaos. It's like maybe they take New Valk, they've got this rotate cut off with Skylight, and they're working on guys in here usually. You want to get a guy in here, try to push these guys all out, plant right here. This is kind of your default spot, in Cocktail at least. A lot of times, if we do like the initial breach I talked about, come in through Christmas, red hatch, maybe new hatch if you're feeling froggy, I guess. You're going to want to come in, you're going to want to plant right here. And this, like I said before, when you plant, your head ducks down a little lower than normal, so you're pretty secure. But coverage is important. So, if you get right here, guy on Skylight is just about unkillable if you don't do any stupid peeks. Obviously being able to cover from Cigar, or if you want to have a guy push up into Freezer, that's awesome as well. A Freezer hold is starting to become a little uncommon now, because you can get taken out by the guy at Skylight without even being able to see him. So like right here, my feet are completely exposed to Skylight. So what you're going to see a lot of times is just rotate right here. And if they know that you're pushing from Cigar, you're going to have guys swing in towards the back of Freezer, like this. It's all about communication. If you got people in the windows like you should, then this rotate becomes a lot harder, because they can't just walk through. They've got to at least take pot shots at you, and at that point you're going to know someone's here. So, I know that sounded a little scatterbrained. So, recap. In my opinion, the easiest way to take this is to go through, have somebody, on red hatch doing their thing like we usually do, but also a crossfire in Christmas. One guy in that window, one guy in this window. This way you can get one of the two into Christmas. Once you get a foothold in Christmas, this goes a lot better. So if you get a foothold in Christmas, being able to clear out and get other people in will make your life a whole lot easier. But now if you're all in Christmas, and they know you're all in Christmas, and this is all reinforced, then what do? Hopefully you've got a hard breach that can take care of that. If not, you've got to expand. So, into Cigar or into White. try to charge white, it's a gauntlet, and it's really hard to get. Obviously flashes help, but people love to play Jaeger, so it's a lot more difficult. So for me, cigar is the more natural option. You're gonna have guys that'll play over here, over there, but if we talk, we coordinate, we should be good. Now say we get 2 people in, either Christmas or Red, or 3, that 4th guy really needs to be working those opposite windows, because we don't want them to be able to put all their focus in one place. So if they know we're all over here, then they don't have to worry about their backs. If we got a guy who keeps taking pot shots from windows, they can't get comfortable. So then you may catch them when they turn around and try to get the guy with the window, pop in the back of the head. It's beautiful. And then if you got smokes, you got flashes, you can sneak your guy right in here to plant, or right here for a plant. Either one, depending on where the defense is set up. And there you go.
15 seconds left.
As a VIP player, you want them paying attention down here. You want them nervous. Because our other point of attack is this window. You can also do it from here. This is not quite as advantageous, depending on where exactly this VIP person is playing. If they're up really close, then either one of those places is great. What you want to do is pinch this person. Hope I said that correctly, Seth. Pinch them and keep them here. Because like if I open this up and I'm super loud, and he's gonna be like, oh crap, now these guys are here, and he's gonna, be checking here, he's gonna be checking that way. You may draw a second player from down the way a little bit, but you want him unsure of himself so that you can push together. So you get your one guy standing out here, maybe he's not getting in, just trying to stay safe, so that if he decides to get aggressive here, you can tell your guys from the garage to push up. Now, I think one thing we also don't think about a lot is utility usage. So say you've got a Zofia, using those concussion grenades, making it really hard for him to pinpoint people and shoot. Hit him with a concussion grenade, he can't hear, he can't see all that well. Flashbang, same thing. Maybe don't flash him, but you at least make him have to turn around and look at the corner so he doesn't get flashed. Giving this person the opportunity to jump in, push up to a position that's a lot stronger. Now, obviously, you push here, you gotta watch for down here, but that's all about communication and droning. So, let's say you root him out, maybe get a kill, so then you're here. So obviously it's nice if you can get that wall open. So, operator picks that are nice here are Thatcher. I think at this point we probably just need a Thatcher if he's available at all times. And then some kind of hard breacher. Partial to Ace, but anybody really. Just being able to even get a vantage point into freezer is huge. So you get that open, then you can kind of have those couple of guys pressure into freezer a little bit. So say we get 2 guys down there. What's important for one to do, say we get the wall open. We can't both be peeking in here, trying to get some kills, trying to do things, because what's going to happen, that happens to us often, is somebody's going to flank down here, take everybody out. But in some areas, like nomads, gridlocks and stuff like that are nice, but here I think you've got to have an actual person watching this hall. Right here's a little bit of a weak position if somebody comes from the stairs, so the easiest way is just to be here. And you're calling, whoever this is calling out the whole time. I hear footsteps, I hear something or other. Flank watch does not always mean you kill people who are flanking. You're just making people aware. So, if you don't want to stand here, that's fine. Drop you a drone, come sit in the laundry room. You can sit here and watch. Not a problem at all. Main thing is just information, information, information. These guys working on the wall need to be able to work on the wall without having to worry about people going from behind. So that doesn't necessarily have to be a flank watch operator like Nomad or Gridlock. It can be whoever. Alright, so we got the wall open, we got our flank watch. That's 2 people. We got one guy who jumped in here. So you can either go through code check. Anytime you face check this door, it's going to be a little dangerous. There's probably going to be somebody sitting right there. Or they've got holes opened up and they're shooting you from prep. So you may be asking about that third entry point. Now bakery, to me, is a suicide take. Flanked through bakery. Because if you got guys pushing up through here, all it takes is one man to swing this to ruin your whole day. So you're going to want to put a drone here, if not a person. And then, you guys that are working on a plant, you're going to want to apply pressure. So you guys are soft construction. We're applying long pressure. So you can even open this both of these up. Applying long pressure. You got smokes, you're going to want to drop them right there on that door. And you're going to want to plant either right here so that you can cover through the freezer door, or you can plant directly behind the bomb, which is usually somewhere right in here. You plant right here. There really is no point in trying to plant like way up here, or I don't think you even can plant in the freezer. So if you plant here, you're very well protected while you're planting, but it's very hard to protect the plant. See, that's the other thing you have to think about. Alternatives to these two spots are right at the door, and then on this side, it's honestly tough to plant on this side because there's so many ways you can throw a C4 and all that. This is a spot of mine that I like, because if you can get that wall open, you can get good coverage too. Hush. So, recap. Oh wait, not recap yet. Third entry point, more of a luxury, but it's nice if you can get someone doing some vertical play. So you got a sledge, you got a buck. All of this is destructible. So you go up to mining, and you just wreak havoc. It's like they talked about with all the other stuff. It's all about making them uncomfortable. You got people rotating to this door, and they take a few shots to the D's. Then they're going to be self-conscious. They're looking up all the time. They know someone's trying to push through here, but they can't concentrate here because they're afraid you're going to shoot them from up there. So they're trying to find little awkward angles that they can hold. You're trying to overwhelm them a little bit. So if we're feeling good, we feel like our 3 people on the bottom floor have things handled, it's nice to have a person playing vertical. This is where it would be nice to have a 5th, because you'd have one person playing vertical and one person holding flank watch for him. But we do what we can. Yeah, don't look at me again. Okay, so recap. 2 main attack points would be garage and VIP window. I think is what that's called. Trying to pinch that guy in VIP. If there's nobody in VIP, you're golden. Make sure there's nobody on white stairs. Push in, take control. Try to get freezer wall open. The guy who's in VIP will push down to try to make sure nobody can rotate out of this door. Okay? Because you don't want people running in and out. You know, if you trap them in bakery, small bakery, at that point they're kind of useless. They can swing and take pot shots, but as long as you are careful and protect yourself, then you should be okay. An alternate place for that person to go to kind of hold flank watch would be up red stairs. Right here. Now you gotta be careful because they could definitely pop you from right there, but sometimes on flank watch it's more about not trying to get the kill as soon as they peek, but trying to tease them out so that you can take them out. But I digress. What you want to do is eventually get control of this half, plant here, or plant there,
10 seconds.
and then be able to watch from freezer door and anywhere else you feel secure.
5 seconds left.
There you go.